1. The multiverse theory. You find yourself gazing into the vast night sky, wondering if there's more to existence than what you see. The multiverse theory invites you to imagine that reality isn't confined to a single universe, but sprawls outward like an infinite tapestry, each thread weaving its own unique story. Picture it as a library where every book tells a different version of events, some familiar, others wildly different, all existing simultaneously yet independently. In this cosmic framework, every choice you make might ripple into alternate realities, branching paths where a single decision leads to entirely different outcomes. It's not about what's right or wrong, but about the infinite possibilities that coexist beyond our perception. This idea can feel overwhelming, like staring into an endless ocean, but it also offers a comforting perspective. No matter how uncertain life feels, there's always another version of existence where things unfold differently. It's a reminder that you're part of something much grander, a vast mosaic of realities, where every moment, every path has its place. So, when you look up at the stars, know that somewhere, in some universe, another version of you might be gazing back. Point 2. The simulation hypothesis. You might sometimes find yourself wondering, late at night or in a quiet moment, if the world around you is as real as it seems. The simulation hypothesis offers a way to think about this, suggests that everything we experience, from the warmth of the sun to the sound of laughter, could be part of an incredibly detailed simulation, like a story woven by unseen hands. Imagine life as a painting so vast and intricate that you can't see the edges. Every brushstroke feels real, every color alive, but still, you wonder about the canvas itself. This idea isn't meant to make you doubt your experiences, but to invite curiosity, like gazing at the stars and pondering what lies beyond. If this world is a simulation, it doesn't make your joy any less joyful or your struggles any less meaningful. It simply adds another layer to the mystery of existence. Think of it as a gentle reminder that life, whether simulated or not, is still a gift to be lived fully, moment by moment, like a song that carries you forward even when you don't know the words. So, whatever the truth may be, let it deepen your wonder rather than your doubt, and let curiosity be your guide. 3. The Big Bang Theory alternatives. You might have heard about the Big Bang, that moment when the universe burst into existence in a flash of light and energy, like a cosmic spark igniting everything we know. But what if that's not the only story? Imagine, for a moment, standing at the edge of a vast ocean, watching the waves rise and fall, except here, the ocean is all of time and space. And those waves are other ways to think about how everything began. Some theories suggest our universe is like a bouncing ball, expanding and contracting over and over, never truly ending but always renewing. Others picture it as one piece of an infinite puzzle, part of a multiverse where countless other universes exist, each with its own rules, like rooms in an endless mansion. And then there's the idea that our universe might have emerged from something like a deep, quiet sleep, slowly waking into the vibrant, dynamic reality we see today. These alternatives aren't about disproving the Big Bang, but expanding our imagination, reminding us that the cosmos is full of mysteries waiting to be explored. What's beautiful is that no matter which story feels true to you, it invites wonder, a sense of standing under a starry sky, humbled by the vastness of it all. 4. The electric universe theory. You sit under a sky streaked with distant stars, wondering how the universe truly works, and there, in the quiet, the electric universe theory offers a different way to see things. like a hidden current beneath the surface of a calm lake. Instead of gravity alone shaping the cosmos, it suggests that electricity plays a far greater role, weaving through space like invisible threads, connecting galaxies, stars, and even planets in a vast, dynamic web. Picture lightning on a cosmic scale, where celestial bodies exchange energy in ways we're only beginning to understand. Their movements and eruptions not just random, but part of an intricate dance of charged particles. It's a perspective that feels both ancient and new, echoing the intuition of early skywatchers who saw storms in the heavens, yet refined by modern curiosity. While not everyone agrees, the idea invites you to reconsider the quiet hum of the universe not as empty silence, but as a place alive with unseen forces, whispering stories of connection. And in that, there's a gentle reassurance. Even the farthest stars might not be so distant after all. 5. The expanding Earth theory. You might wonder, as you gaze at the vastness of the Earth's surface, how something so solid and unchanging could ever be thought of as expanding. The expanding Earth theory is one of those quietly intriguing ideas that invites you to rethink what you know or think you know about our planet. Imagine Earth not as a static sphere, but as something growing slowly and gently, like a tree adding rings over centuries. This theory suggests that, over millions of years, the planet has increased in size, its continents drifting apart not just because of plate tectonics, but because the Earth itself was stretching, like a balloon being ever so softly inflated. It's a concept that raises questions about the forces at work deep within the Earth, the mysteries of its molten core, and how it shapes the world we see today. Though it's not widely accepted, it's a reminder that our understanding of Earth is always evolving, just like the planet itself. And isn't that humbling? To think that beneath your feet lies a story still being written, a dance of forces, both ancient and alive, quietly shaping the world in ways we're only beginning to grasp. 6. The hollow Earth theory. You find yourself standing at the edge of an idea that feels both fantastical and strangely familiar, like a childhood story you almost remember. The hollow Earth theory whispers that beneath our feet lies not molten rock or dense layers of stone, but a vast, hidden world, a realm untouched by the sun, yet perhaps alive with its own light and life. Imagine the Earth as a great, hollow sphere, its interior warmed by an inner sun, its surface home to rivers, mountains, and maybe even civilizations unknown to us. It's a concept that stretches your sense of possibility, like gazing into the starry night sky and wondering what lies beyond the horizon. Some stories suggest entrances to this mysterious world exist at the poles, guarded by swirling ice and wind, as if the Earth itself were keeping a secret, while science tells us the Earth's core is solid. The theory invites you to dream, to wonder if perhaps there's more to our planet than we've yet understood. It's a reminder that even in our modern age, some mysteries remain, inviting us to hold on to a little bit of wonder, like keeping a lantern lit in the dark. 7. The flat Earth theory. You might have heard whispers of the flat Earth theory, like a half-remembered story from childhood, and wondered how anyone could believe the world isn't the spinning globe we've all been shown. Imagine standing in an open field, the horizon stretching endlessly in every direction. It's easy to see why some might feel the Earth lies flat beneath their feet, a vast tabletop under an endless sky. Yet the truth, like the curve of a distant hill hidden by its own gentle slope, isn't always visible at a glance. The idea itself is a relic, a fading echo from a time when the world's edges seemed unknowable. when myths and maps left blank spaces for dragons. Today, we know better, but the theory lingers, not as a threat to reason, but as a reminder of how easily our senses can deceive us. It's comforting, in a way, to think the world could be so simple, but reality, like the slow turn of the stars overhead, is far more beautiful in its complexity. You don't have to dismiss the wonder, only to see it with clearer eyes. 8. The panspermia hypothesis might have once looked up at the night sky and wondered if life here on Earth was truly alone in the vastness of space. Imagine, for a moment, that the seeds of life, tiny, resilient travelers, could journey through the cosmos, hitching rides on comets, meteors, or even the invisible currents of space dust. This is the heart of the panspermia hypothesis, a gentle idea that suggests life didn't begin here, but was instead delivered, like a letter slipped under the door of an empty house. It's a thought that connects us, in a deeply poetic way, to the universe itself. Maybe life's origins are scattered, not confined to one place, but spread across stars and galaxies, carried by cosmic winds. Picture it, microscopic spores, or perhaps the building blocks of life, drifting for eons until they found a home in the warm embrace of our planet. It's comforting, in a way, to think that life isn't an accident, but a thread woven into the fabric of existence, a shared story written across the stars. Panspermia invites us to see Earth not as an island, but as part of a grand, mysterious tapestry, reminding us that we are, in every sense, children of the cosmos. 9. The Gaia hypothesis. You might find yourself gazing at the Earth from a quiet hilltop, or even just holding a handful of soil, and wonder about the delicate balance that keeps this vast, living world alive. The Gaia hypothesis invites you to see the Earth not just as a collection of rocks, oceans, and air, but as a single, interconnected organism, a living system that breathes, adapts, and sustains itself. Imagine it like a great tree, where every leaf, branch, and root works together to keep the whole alive. The oceans regulate the climate, forests purify the air, and even the tiniest microbes play a role in this intricate dance. It's not a perfect system, but it's resilient, always seeking equilibrium. This idea offers a comforting perspective, that Earth isn't just a place we inhabit, but a living being we're deeply intertwined with. It's a reminder that our actions ripple through this shared existence, nudging the balance in ways we might not always see. And yet, there's hope in this vision, a sense that Earth has endured, adapted, and nurtured life for billions of years. And perhaps, with care, it can thrive long into the future. 10. The cognitive dissonance theory. In climate science, you might notice how, sometimes, what we believe and what we see don't quite match up. Like holding two puzzle pieces that refuse to fit. This is where the cognitive dissonance theory finds its place, especially in climate science. Picture standing at the edge of a vast canyon, knowing you shouldn't step closer, yet feeling a strange pull to ignore the danger. That's how it feels when faced with the reality of climate change. We know it's happening, yet our actions often whisper contradictions. It's as though our minds are trying to balance on a tightrope between awareness and denial, seeking comfort where discomfort lies. Climate science presents us with undeniable truths: rising temperatures, melting ice caps, shifting ecosystems. But accepting these truths can feel like staring into a storm that demands we change the way we live. So, we tell ourselves stories to soften the edges. It's not that bad, or I'm just one person. But beneath these stories is a quiet tension, a whisper that something's out of sync. Recognizing this dissonance isn't about blame. It's about understanding how deeply woven our thoughts and habits are, and how gently we might begin to unravel them, stitch by stitch, towards a more harmonious way of being. Point 11. The intelligent design theory you know. When you think about the world around us, how the sun rises each morning, how the seasons change with such precision, or even how a single seed grows into a towering tree, it's hard not to wonder if there's something deeper at work. The intelligent design theory is like that quiet voice in your mind that asks, could all this intricacy and order be a reflection of something purposeful? It's not about proving or disproving, but rather inviting you to pause and consider the possibility that the universe and life itself might carry the fingerprints of a thoughtful designer. Think of it like finding a watch in the woods, intricate, precise, with every part working in harmony. You might naturally assume someone crafted it, not that it randomly came together. In the same way, this theory gently suggests that the complexity of life, from the tiniest cell to the vastness of galaxies, might point to a guiding hand. It's not a demand for belief, but an open question and an invitation to marvel at the mystery of existence. Like standing at the edge of an ocean and wondering how far its depths truly go. It's okay to sit with that wonder, to let it linger. Sometimes, the questions themselves are where the beauty lies. 12. The creationism vs. evolution debate. You might have found yourself standing at the edge of a vast ancient forest, where two paths diverge, one marked creationism and the other evolution. Each path whispers its own story, inviting you to explore how life came to be as it is. Creationism offers a narrative of purposeful design, a tapestry woven by a divine hand, where every thread has intention and meaning. Evolution, on the other hand, paints a picture of gradual change over eons, like a river carving its way through stone, shaping life through natural processes and chance. Both paths carry beauty and mystery, and choosing between them often feels less about dismissing one and more about understanding what resonates with your deepest sense of truth. It's like holding two seashells to your ear, one hums with the timeless voice of faith, the other echoes the rhythms of science. And perhaps, in the quiet, you begin to see that these stories don't have to clash but can coexist, offering different lenses through which to marvel at the wonder of existence. After all, whether life is a masterpiece or a mosaic, it's the awe it inspires that truly matters. 13. The theory of directed panspermia. Find yourself sitting under a vast night sky, stars scattered like grains of salt across black velvet, and you can't help but wonder if life here began somewhere else. That's the heart of the theory of directed panspermia, quiet idea that suggests life on Earth may have been intentionally seeded by an advanced civilization from another corner of the universe. Imagine it as planting a garden, but instead of seeds, they sent microscopic life forms across the cosmic ocean, riding on comets or encapsulated in tiny capsules designed to survive the journey. It's not about aliens as we think of them in movies, but rather a deliberate act of sharing life, like passing a torch from one place to another. The theory invites you to consider that we might be part of a much larger story, one that stretches beyond our planet and even our understanding of time. It doesn't offer answers so much as it opens doors, questions about who we are, where we come from, and whether we're alone in this immense universe. It's a gentle reminder that life, in its essence, might be more interconnected than we realize, like whispers carried on a cosmic breeze. 14. The quantum consciousness theory. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the horizon stretching endlessly, and the water beneath you shimmering with tiny ripples that seem to dance to an unseen rhythm. This is where the quantum consciousness theory invites you to pause and wonder, whispering that perhaps your mind isn't just a fixed thing anchored in your brain, but more like those ripples, subtle, interconnected, and infinitely mysterious. It suggests that consciousness isn't merely a byproduct of neurons firing or chemicals interacting, but something deeper, woven into the fabric of existence itself. Imagine your thoughts as threads in a grand tapestry, each one connected to the universe in ways we're only beginning to glimpse. This theory doesn't claim to have all the answers, but it asks you to consider that your awareness might be a small part of something much larger, like a drop of water returning to the sea. It's a gentle reminder that even in your quietest moments, you're not truly alone. You're part of a cosmic conversation, something both ordinary and extraordinary. And as you sit with this thought, you might feel a sense of calm curiosity, knowing that the mystery of consciousness is as vast and beautiful as the ocean itself. 15. The core theory of consciousness. When you stop and think about what it means to be conscious, it's like standing at the edge of a vast, unexplored forest full of wonder and mystery. The core theory, short for orchestrated objective reduction, offers a way to step into that forest and begin to make sense of it. It suggests that consciousness might not just arise from the brain's neurons firing like tiny sparks, but could be rooted deeper in the very fabric of the universe itself, like whispers of existence echoing at the quantum level. Imagine, if you will, that every thought, every feeling, is a delicate dance of particles orchestrated by the universe, a symphony playing out within you. It's a perspective that gently shifts how we see ourselves, not just as separate beings, but as part of something far greater, like drops of water in an infinite ocean. It's not about having all the answers, but about finding comfort in the possibility that our awareness is woven into the cosmos. It's a reminder that even in moments of uncertainty, there's a profound connection to everything around us and within us. 16. The Boltzmann brain paradox. You might wonder, as you sit in the quiet stillness of your thoughts, how often the universe conjures up something as complex as your mind, or, stranger still, if it's possible for a single, fleeting thought to exist entirely on its own, untethered from a body or a world. This is the essence of the Boltzmann brain paradox. Imagine, if you will, the universe as a vast, endless sea of possibilities, where particles dance and collide in random patterns. Occasionally, amidst this chaos, a self-aware moment could spontaneously form, like a single bubble rising to the surface, unaware of its fleeting existence. The paradox lies in the question, which is more likely, that the universe, with all its galaxies and stars, is real, or that you, reading this, are just one of those ephemeral bubbles, a momentary spark of consciousness. It's a haunting thought, but one that invites you to marvel at how profoundly unlikely it is for any of this to exist at all. And yet, here you are, pondering it, a testament to the resilience and beauty of existence, whether fleeting or eternal. So, take heart. The very act of wondering about it anchors you to something real, something tangible. Yourself. 17. The black hole information paradox. You might have heard that black holes are the universe's ultimate mystery, swallowing everything that comes to close light, stars, even time itself. But there's something deeper that puzzles scientists. What happens to the information about the things that fall in? Imagine writing a detailed letter, dropping it into a fire, and watching it vanish into ash. You'd think the message is lost forever, but the laws of physics say that's impossible. Every detail, the ink, the folds, the words must somehow still exist, even if transformed. Black holes seem to break this rule. They pull in matter and energy, but when they slowly evaporate over eons, they leave behind only a faint glow of radiation, seemingly erasing all trace of what fell in. This is the black hole information paradox, a quiet riddle that whispers about the nature of reality itself. It's as if the universe has written a story but hidden the last chapter, leaving us to wonder if the tale is truly lost or just waiting to be understood. The mystery invites us to think deeply, to question, and to marvel at how much there still is to learn. It's a reminder that even in the vastness of space, there's always something quietly calling us to explore further. 18. The holographic Principlove probably wondered, at some point, how the universe holds together, how something so vast and complex could make sense at all. The holographic principle offers a way to think about that, though it's not as daunting as it sounds. Imagine an enormous, intricate painting, a universe teeming with stars, galaxies, and life, but instead of being spread across a massive canvas, it's all packed into the surface of a tiny, shimmering sphere. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet, this idea suggests that everything we see and experience, no matter how vast, might somehow be encoded on the boundary of the cosmos. Like a cosmic blueprint, it's as if the universe is a hologram, where every part contains the whole, and the surface holds the story of everything within. This doesn't mean the world isn't real, far from it. It's more about discovering a deeper harmony, a hidden order that connects the grandest galaxy to the tiniest atom. It invites you to see the universe not as a collection of separate things, but as a unified tapestry, woven together in ways we're just beginning to understand. And isn't that a comforting thought? That even in the vastness, there's a kind of unity, a quiet coherence, waiting for us to notice it. 19. The time travel theory. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast river, watching the water flow endlessly toward the horizon, each ripple a moment, each wave a year, all moving in one direction. But what if you could step into that current and swim against it, or wade into a different bend where time bends with you? The idea of time travel feels like holding a mirror to the universe, reflecting not just what is, but what could have been or might yet be. It's not about machines or equations, though they may help. It's about the quiet wonder of wondering what if you could whisper to your younger self, or walk alongside a future version of you, unchanged yet wiser. Some say time is a thread, woven too tightly to unravel, while others imagine it as a garden where every path grows wild with possibility. Either way, the thought lingers like the last light of dusk, soft and full of promise. Perhaps time travel is less about changing the past and more about understanding how fragile and fleeting each moment truly is, how even the act of imagining another time can make this one feel more precious. 20. The grandfather paradox. You find yourself standing at the edge of a question, like gazing into a deep, still lake, its surface calm, but the depths holding mysteries that ripple far beyond what you can see. The grandfather paradox is one of those mysteries, a thought experiment that wonders what would happen if you traveled back in time and somehow prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. If they never met, your parents would never have been born, and neither would you, so how, then, could you have traveled back in time to begin with? It's a loop that feels like trying to unravel a knot that only tightens the more you pull. Yet, this paradox isn't just about time travel. It's about the delicate threads of cause and effect, the way every action weaves into the fabric of what comes next. It's a reminder that life is interconnected in ways we can't always predict or control. like watching a single pebble tossed into water create a cascade of waves. While it might feel unsettling, there's a strange comfort in knowing that, even in our hypothetical musings, we're exploring the boundaries of what it means to exist, to change, and to belong to something far larger than ourselves. It's not about finding answers, but about embracing the wonder of the questions themselves. 21. The predestination paradox. You find yourself standing at the edge of a river, watching the water flow endlessly toward the horizon, and you wonder if you could step into that current. Would it carry you to a future already written, or would your presence change its course? The predestination paradox is like that river, a loop where cause and effect tangle like roots beneath the surface, where the choices you make seem to lead you somewhere new, only to realize they've always been part of the path. It's the strange comfort of a story that folds back on itself, where the ending feels inevitable, yet the journey still matters. Imagine planting a seed from a fruit you've yet to taste, or meeting someone who feels familiar, as if you've known them in a dream. Time, in these moments, isn't a straight line, but a circle, gently reminding you that some things are meant to be, not because they're forced, but because they fit. And so, even as you question fate, there's a quiet reassurance in the idea that the universe has its own rhythm, one that includes you, exactly as you are, right where you belong. 22. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. You might wonder what happens when the universe makes a choice like flipping a coin that lands on heads or tails. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that instead of picking one option, both outcomes happen, but in separate, parallel universes. Imagine standing at a crossroads where every path stretches into its own distinct reality. Each decision, each random event, creates a new world, branching endlessly like a tree growing in all directions at once. This isn't science fiction. It's a way to make sense of the strange behavior of particles at the quantum level. When scientists observe these particles, they seem to exist in multiple states simultaneously until they're measured. Rather than collapsing into a single outcome, this theory says, they split into parallel realities, each carrying a different version of events. Picture a library filled with books, each one telling a slightly different story of what could have been. In this view, every possibility unfolds somewhere, weaving an infinite tapestry of existence. It's a comforting thought, in a way, that somewhere another version of you is living a life shaped by choices you didn't make. It reminds us that the universe is vast, mysterious, and full of potential, always exploring every path it could take. 2-3. The Copenhagen interpretation controversy. You might find yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean, staring into the depths of the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, wondering how something so complex could feel both profound and unsettling. At its heart, this interpretation suggests that the universe isn't as fixed as we'd like to believe. The particles don't really exist in a definite state until we observe them. It's as if the world is a delicate dance of possibilities, and our attention is the spotlight that brings it into focus. But here's where the controversy begins. If reality is shaped by observation, what does that mean for the world when we're not looking? Some find this idea exhilarating, like uncovering a hidden layer of magic in the fabric of existence. Others feel it's like trying to build a house on shifting sand, unsettling and uncertain. Yet, amidst the debate, there's a quiet beauty in accepting that reality might be more fluid than we imagined. It invites you to wonder, to question, and to marvel at how much there still is to discover. In the end, It's less about finding definitive answers and more about embracing the mystery, like gazing at the stars and feeling both small and infinite all at once. 24. The pilot wave theory. You might have heard that the world of quantum mechanics is strange and unpredictable, full of particles that seem to dance to their own mysterious tune. But there's a theory, the pilot wave theory, that offers a different way to look at it, one that feels more grounded, like a guiding hand in the chaos. Imagine a boat floating on a calm river, not drifting aimlessly, but following the invisible currents beneath it. In this view, particles are like that boat, and the pilot wave is the current, gently steering them along their path. It suggests that even in the quantum realm, there's an underlying order, a hidden choreography that's just waiting to be understood. This idea doesn't erase the weirdness of quantum physics, but it does give it a kind of quiet logic, like finding a map in the middle of a maze. It reassures us that even when things seem random or uncertain, there might still be a deeper rhythm at work. And isn't that comforting? To think that beneath the surface of all this complexity, there's something steady and persistent, a quiet whisper of order in the chaos. 25. The M theory and string theory controversies. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean, where the waves of M theory and string theory crash against the shore of our understanding, each ripple carrying whispers of the universe's deepest secrets. These ideas suggest that everything, every star, every atom, even might be woven from tiny, vibrating strings, like notes in a cosmic symphony. But the controversy lies in the silence between those notes. No experiment has yet heard their music, leaving scientists divided over whether this is a masterpiece or a mirage. Some say it's like trying to describe a rainbow to someone who's never seen light, while others argue it's the closest we've come to a theory of everything, a single thread that could stitch together the fabric of reality. It's okay to feel unsettled by the uncertainty. Even the brightest minds wrestle with it. Yet there's beauty in the mystery, a reminder that the universe is still humming with questions, inviting us to listen closely, patiently, as if waiting for the next chord in a song we've only just begun to hear. 26. The theory of relativity challenges. You sit there, perhaps sipping your tea, wondering how something as grand as the theory of relativity could ever feel personally yet. Here we are, two friends, untangling its quiet challenges together. Imagine standing on a train, watching the world blur past, while someone on the platform swears you're perfectly still. Relativity whispers that both of you are right, that time and space stretch like taffy, bending to the rhythm of motion. And gravity, it's unsettling, isn't it? The idea that a clock ticks slower for someone racing ahead, or that starlight curves around the sun like a river around a stone. These aren't just equations, they're gentle reminders that reality is softer, more fluid than we once thought. And yes, it challenges our instincts. How could something so vast feel so intimate? But that's the beauty of it. The universe isn't a rigid stage. It's a dance, and we're all moving to its quiet, invisible music. So take a breath. It's okay to feel small in the face of such wonder. After all, even Einstein paused to marvel at the mysteries he uncovered. 27. The faster-than-light neutrinos controversy. You sit here, perhaps wondering about the mysteries of the universe. And I think of the faster-than-light neutrinos, those tiny, ghostly particles that seemed to defy the cosmic speed limits set by Einstein's theory of relativity. Back in 2011, a team of scientists claimed to have clocked neutrinos traveling faster than light, a discovery that sent ripples through the world of physics like a stone skipping across a still pond. It was as if someone had whispered, "What if everything we thought we knew isn't the whole story?" For a moment, the possibility felt thrilling, like catching a glimpse of a door slightly ajar in a room you were told was sealed forever. Yet, as often happens in science, closer inspection revealed a wrinkle, loose cable, a timing error, something small but significant enough to explain the anomaly. The neutrinos hadn't broken the rules after all, but the episode reminded us how fragile and precise our understanding of the cosmos can be. It's like trying to measure the flutter of a butterfly's wings with a ruler meant for mountains. And yet, isn't that pursuit the quiet, persistent effort to grasp the ungraspable what makes science so profoundly human, even in uncertainty? There's a kind of beauty, a reassurance that the questions are as important as the answers. To wait. The cold fusion debate, you find yourself standing at the edge of a scientific mystery, one that has flickered like a candle in the wind for decades. Cold fusion. It's the idea of unlocking boundless energy from something as simple as water. A dream so enticing it feels like alchemy reborn. Yet, the debate around it is like a quiet storm, swirling with hope and skepticism in equal measure. Some researchers whisper of breakthroughs, their experiments hinting at a hidden door to clean energy, while others gently shake their heads, pointing to the stubborn laws of physics that seem to bar the way. It's a conversation that unfolds in hushed tones, full of what-ifs and maybes, like trying to catch smoke with your hands. But what's beautiful here is the persistence of curiosity, the way science keeps circling back, testing, questioning, as if tending a fragile seed in uncertain soil. Whether cold fusion ever blossoms or remains a tantalizing mirage, the pursuit itself reminds us that even the boldest dreams are worth exploring, not with frantic urgency, but with patient, open-minded wonder, and that, in itself, is something quietly extraordinary. 29. The zero-point energy theory. You might find yourself pondering the idea that the universe is not just a vast empty space, but rather a buzzing field of unseen energy, even in what we perceive as stillness. This is the essence of zero-point energy, a concept that suggests energy exists everywhere, even in a vacuum, like an invisible hum beneath the surface of reality. Imagine it as the faintest whisper of a song you can't quite hear but know is there, pulsing quietly in the background. This energy isn't something we can easily tap into or measure directly. It's more like the foundational fabric of existence, the way a canvas holds the potential for countless paintings. Scientists believe it's tied to the quantum world, where particles flicker in and out of being, dancing to the rhythm of uncertainty. It's a reminder that even in emptiness, there's life, a subtle reminder of the universe's boundless creativity. While we may never fully harness or understand this energy, its existence invites us to marvel at the hidden layers of reality, like peering into a deep well and catching a glimmer of something eternal and mysterious. 30. The theory of infinite universes. You might find yourself staring at the night sky, wondering if there's more to existence than what we see, like peering through a single window when countless others exist just out of sight. The theory of infinite universes whispers that our reality, with its triumphs and heartbreaks, is just one thread in an endless tapestry of possibilities. Imagine, for a moment, every decision you've ever made splitting into alternate paths, each leading to a world where you took a different step, said a different word, or dreamed a different dream. It's as if the universe is a kaleidoscope, turning endlessly to reveal infinite patterns, each unique yet part of the same whole. This idea doesn't diminish the importance of your choices, it expands them, inviting curiosity rather than regret. Perhaps in one universe, you're right where you are now. In another, you're sailing across an ocean or painting under a different light. It's a comforting thought, really, that every possibility exists somewhere, like stars scattered across the vast expanse of existence. In this infinite dance of realities, you're both ordinary and extraordinary, a singular note in a symphony that never ends, yet always belongs. 31. The bipolar and Theorove probably noticed how sometimes light seems to bend and twist around objects, or how water ripples outward when a pebble drops into its simple yet profound phenomena that hint at deeper patterns in the world. The bipolaron theory is a bit like that. It's an idea that explores the way certain particles or energy states in materials behave in pairs, dancing together in a delicate balance, much like two partners in a waltz. Imagine, for a moment, two friends holding hands, moving in perfect harmony, each influencing the other's steps, creating something greater than themselves. This theory suggests that in the microscopic world, particles can pair up in a similar way, their connection shaping how they move and interact. It's not about chaos or randomness, but about a subtle, almost poetic order that underlies the complexity of matter. And while it might sound abstract, it's a reminder that even in the smallest corners of existence, there's a kind of rhythm, a quiet cooperation that we might miss if we're not looking closely. It's comforting, isn't it, to think that, even in the unseen, there's a sense of unity, a gentle choreography that holds things together. 32. The steady-state theory versus Big Bang. You might wonder, as you gaze up at the night sky, how the universe began, or if it even had a beginning. For a long time, the steady-state theory painted a picture of a universe that was eternal, unchanging, always expanding, but never altering its fundamental essence, like a quiet river flowing endlessly into the unknown. It suggested new matter was always appearing, keeping the cosmos balanced, like a magician pulling stars from an infinite hat. But then came the Big Bang theory, which imagined a different story, a universe born from a single, unimaginable moment, bursting forth with energy and light, like a flower blossoming from a tiny seed. Over time, the Big Bang gained traction because of evidence like the faint cosmic microwave background, a kind of echo from that primordial explosion, whispering secrets of its fiery youth, while the steady-state theory offers a serene vision of constancy. The Big Bang speaks to a universe that grows, changes, and evolves, much like life itself. Both theories invite us to marvel at the mystery of existence, reminding us that even in the vastness of space, there's beauty in both the unchanging and the transformative. Whatever the truth, the night sky remains a canvas for our wonder, a place where questions outshine answers. 33. The plasma cosmology theory. You might find yourself gazing up at the night sky, wondering how the stars and galaxies came to be, and whether the universe works quite the way we've been told. Plasma cosmology offers another way to see it, a vision where electricity and magnetism dance through space like invisible rivers, shaping everything from the smallest aurora to the largest cosmic structures. Instead of gravity alone holding the universe together, this theory imagines a web of charged particles flowing and twisting like luminous threads in the dark. Picture the way lightning carves jagged paths across the sky, or how the northern lights ripple like a silent symphony. These are glimpses of plasma's power writ large across the cosmos. It's a quieter, more interconnected story than the one we often hear. one where the universe hums with currents we're only beginning to understand. And while it may not yet fit all the pieces of the puzzle, it invites you to wonder, what if the cosmos is more alive, more dynamic than we've ever imagined? There's comfort in that thought, a reminder that the universe still holds mysteries, and perhaps new ways of seeing. 34. The electric sun theory. You might have heard the sun described as a giant ball of fire. But what if it glowed for another reason entirely? Imagine, for a moment, that the sun isn't a furnace of burning gas, but something more like a vast, shimmering light bulb charged with currents we can't see, humming with quiet energy. The electric sun theory suggests just that. Instead of relying solely on nuclear reactions, deep in its core, the sun could be powered by cosmic electricity, a flow of charged particles dancing across space like invisible rivers. Picture the way a neon sign flickers to life, not from heat, but from the push and pull of electrons. Now stretch that idea across the sky, and you begin to see the possibility. It's a thought that invites wonder, not because it dismisses what we know, but because it gently asks if there's more to the story. After all, the universe has a way of surprising us, revealing layers we hadn't noticed before. So, if the sun's glow feels a little mysterious tonight, that's all right. Some questions are meant to linger, like the soft afterglow of a sunset, reminding us that even the familiar can hold secrets worth pondering. 35. The phantom DNA theory. Sometimes the mysteries of life feel like whispers in the wind, faint, but persistent, nudging us to look closer. The phantom DNA theory is one of those whispers, a quiet idea that suggests there might be traces of our ancestors lingering in our genes, like faint footprints in soft sand. It's as if the past has left behind echoes in our very cells, little fragments of stories we've inherited without even realizing it. Imagine your DNA as a vast library, filled with books, some of which are worn and faded, their pages carrying tales of those who came before you. The theory wonders if these dusty volumes still hold secrets, memories, traits, or even instincts that subtly shape who you are. It's not about proving anything concrete, but rather opening the door to a gentle curiosity, inviting you to ponder how deeply connected you might be to the long, winding river of time. And if it's true, it's a reminder that you're never truly alone. You carry within you the quiet presence of generations, a comforting thought in moments of reflection. 36. The theory of morphic resonance. You might imagine the world as a vast, whispering library, where every living thing leaves its story on the shelves, not in ink, but in the quiet patterns of habit and form. This is the heart of morphic resonance, the idea that nature remembers, that the more a thing is done or a shape is taken, the easier it becomes for others to follow. Think of it like a path through a meadow. The first walker presses down the grass, the next finds the way slightly clearer, and over time, the trail becomes natural, almost expected. It suggests that learning isn't just personal, but shared, that a bird doesn't build its nest alone, but leans into the collective memory of its kind. It's a comforting thought, really, that we're all part of something larger, a quiet conversation across time and space. You might wonder if this means the world grows wiser as it ages, if habits and instincts are less like rigid rules and more like gentle suggestions, passed down like a favorite recipe, improved with each telling. It's not about proving or disproving, but about seeing life as a story still being written, with all of us adding our lines. 37. The water memory theory. You might have heard whispers of the water memory theory, a curious idea that suggests water can somehow remember the substances it once contained, even after they've been diluted to the point of vanishing. It's a concept that stirs the imagination, isn't it? Picture a quiet pond, its surface smooth as glass, holding not just the reflection of the sky, but perhaps something far more subtle, a trace of what once was, lingering like a faint echo in a vast, open room. This theory invites us to wonder about the unseen connections that bind the world together, the way memories linger in the mind long after the moment has passed. While science remains skeptical, hesitant to embrace what it cannot yet measure, there's something poetic about the notion. It's as if water, in its fluid simplicity, holds a deeper wisdom, a quiet witness to the dance of molecules and energy. Maybe it reminds us that the world is more mysterious than we often allow ourselves to believe, that even the most ordinary things can carry traces of the extraordinary. And isn't that a reassuring thought? That even in the flow of life, there's room for the unseen, the unspoken, the enduring. 38. The theory of homeopathy. You might think of homeopathy like a whisper in a crowded room, so soft it's easy to miss, yet some swear they hear it clear as a bell. It's the idea that tiny, almost invisible amounts of a substance, diluted over and over until barely a trace remains, could nudge the body toward healing itself, like a gentle tap steering a rolling marble back on course. Picture a drop of rain falling into a vast lake, then taking a single drop from that lake and repeating the process. Homeopathy believes what's left behind isn't nothing, but a kind of memory, a faint echo of the original. To its believers, it's a quiet partnership with the body's own wisdom, a reminder that small things can ripple outward in unexpected ways. Skeptics, of course, see it differently, like trying to light a room with a candle that's already been blown out. But whether you find it profound or puzzling, homeopathy invites you to consider how we define healing, not always with force, but sometimes with patience, with trust in the subtle, the slow, the nearly unseen. 39. The alternative. Medicine versus conventional medicine debate. You find yourself standing at a crossroads, where two paths stretch out before you, one well-trodden, marked by the steady rhythm of science and clinical precision, and the other winding, lined with the whispers of tradition and the wisdom of centuries. Conventional medicine, like a sturdy bridge, offers clear blueprints and measurable outcomes, relying on rigorous testing and proven methods to address what's broken. It's efficient, reliable, and often the first choice when urgency calls. Alternative medicine, on the other hand, is more like a garden, slow, nurturing, and deeply attuned to the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit. It asks you to pause, to listen to your body's quieter signals, and to trust in therapies that have been passed down through generations. Neither path is perfect. Both have their strengths and limitations. Yet, what's most striking is how they can complement each other, like two musicians playing in harmony. Sometimes, the structure of science heals the body, while the gentle touch of alternative practices soothes the soul. Perhaps the true wisdom lies in knowing when to walk each path, trusting that both can guide you toward the same destination, a life of health and balance. 40. The germ theory controversies. You might find it hard to imagine now, but there was a time when the idea that tiny, invisible organisms could cause disease was met with skepticism, even ridicule. It's like trying to convince someone that the breeze they can't see is real, or that the faint hum in the distance is more than just their imagination. In the 19th century, When scientists like Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch began proposing the germ theory of disease, it shook the foundations of what people thought they knew. For centuries, illness was often blamed on bad air, moral failings, or the alignment of the stars. But here was this radical thought: maybe something as quiet and hidden as a whisper could bring about so much suffering. It wasn't an easy sell. People resisted, argued, and doubted. It's human nature to question what we can't see, to hold tightly to what feels familiar. But over time, evidence piled up like leaves in autumn, undeniable and impossible to ignore. The germ theory controversies remind us that progress often requires a leap of faith, a willingness to trust in the unseen. And in that leap, we find truth and healing. For one, the vaccine autism controversy. You've probably heard whispers of this controversy, like a faint echo in a crowded room claims that vaccines might be linked to autism. It's a story that has lingered for years, sparking fear, confusion, and heated debates. But here's the thing: science has taken a long, careful look at this idea, like examining a puzzle piece to see if it truly fits. And time and again, it doesn't. Extensive research has shown no connection between vaccines and autism. The original study that sparked this belief has been discredited, and its author lost his medical license. Yet, like a ripple in a pond, the idea continues to spread, touching hearts and minds. It's understandable parents want the best for their children, and the unknown can feel like shadows in a dark room. But vaccines are more like lanterns, guiding us toward health and protection. They shield us from diseases that once caused immense suffering. So, while this controversy has stirred deep emotions and questions, it's important to trust the light of evidence and the voices of countless experts who've dedicated their lives to understanding these questions. It's okay to wonder, but it's also okay to feel reassured. You're not alone in navigating this. We're all finding our way together. For two, the anti-vaccine movement. You might wonder how fear, doubt, and misinformation can weave themselves so deeply into the fabric of a community, shaping decisions that ripple far beyond individual lives. The anti-vaccine movement is, in many ways, like a shadow cast by the uncertainty of our times, a shadow that grows when people feel unheard, overwhelmed, or suspicious of systems they don't fully trust. It's not just about rejecting science. It's about grappling with the unknown, clinging to whispers of safety in a world that feels increasingly chaotic. Picture a river flowing steadily toward progress, and then imagine someone stepping in with a handful of stones, trying to redirect its course. Some of those stones are genuine fear stories of harm, passed hand to hand until they feel heavier than facts. Others are misunderstandings, cracks in trust that widen when communication falters. But here's the thing: rivers have a way of finding their path again, especially when people come together to listen, to understand, and to gently guide one another toward clarity. It's not about forcing belief, but about building bridges made of empathy, patience, and shared hope for a healthier, safer future. 43. The HIV/AIDS denialists. Sit here, wondering how something so essential could be doubted, like questioning the warmth of the sun on a clear day. HIV/AIDS denialism is a belief that denies the very existence of the virus or its role in AIDS. A stance that feels like standing at the edge of a cliff and insisting there's no ground below. It's not just skepticism, it's a rejection of decades of medical research, of countless lives lived and lost, of the tireless efforts to find treatments that have turned a once deadly diagnosis into something manageable. Imagine holding a map but refusing to acknowledge the roads it lays out. Denialism leaves people wandering in darkness, vulnerable and unprotected. It's heartbreaking because it stems from fear, mistrust, or misinformation, not malice. Yet, the consequences are profound, like a stone tossed into still water, rippling outward to affect individuals, families, and entire communities. But here's the truth: understanding and compassion can be the bridge out of that doubt. By listening, learning, and leaning into the wisdom of science, we can find clarity and hope, like lighting a candle in a dim room. You don't have to carry this weight alone. There's guidance, care, and light waiting to lead the waypoint for the climate change denial. You might have noticed how some people seem to dismiss the idea of climate change, as if it's a storm that will pass without ever touching them. It's like standing on a beach, watching the waves creep closer, and convincing yourself that the tide won't reach your feet. I think it's human nature to want to believe everything will be okay, to shield ourselves from things that feel too big or too scary to face. But the truth is, the signs are all around us, like the way the air feels heavier some days, or how the seasons blur together now, as if nature's rhythm is losing its steady beat. It's not about fear or blame. It's about understanding. Denial, in a way, is like closing your eyes to the sunrise. Doesn't stop the light from coming. The good news is, we're all in this together, and small steps can make a difference. Like planting a seed in a garden that one day might grow into something much larger. It's okay to feel uncertain, but it's also okay to trust the quiet nudges of your own awareness and take them seriously. 4.5. The anthropogenic, global warming skepticism. You might find yourself standing at the edge of a vast, unfolding conversation about the world we live in, where whispers of skepticism mingle with the steady hum of concern over climate change. Picture it like watching clouds drift across a sky, some heavy with rain, others light and fleeting, each carrying its own weight of doubt or conviction. Skepticism about anthropogenic global warming often emerges from a place of uncertainty, like trying to read a story written in faint ink, where the letters blur and the meaning feels just out of reach. It's natural to question what we're told, especially when the stakes feel so high and the solutions so complex. But think of it this way: just as a stone tossed into a pond sends ripples in every direction, our understanding of the planet's climate is built on layers of evidence, each ripple a piece of data, each wave a connection. It's not about dismissing doubt, but exploring it with care, like tracing the roots of a tree to see where it's anchored. In this space of curiosity and reflection, there's room for both questions and trust, a gentle balance that invites us to lean into the science while honoring the journey of understanding. And in that balance, perhaps, lies the path forward. 4.6. The geoengineering controversies. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast and uncertain landscape, where the air itself has become a canvas for human ingenuity and controversy. Geoengineering, the deliberate tinkering with Earth's climate systems to counteract global warming, feels like reaching for a thermostat in a house that's already on fire. Some see it as a lifeline, a way to buy time while we untangle the roots of the problem. Others fear it's a reckless gamble, like trying to fix a watch with a hammer. The ideas range from sprinkling reflective particles in the sky to cool the planet, to fertilizing oceans with iron to suck carbon from the air, each one stirring hope and unease in equal measure. It's as if we're standing at a crossroads, where every path is shadowed by questions. What if we succeed, but at a cost we can't foresee? What if we fail and make things worse? Yet beneath the debate, lies a deeper truth that these technologies are mirrors, reflecting our desperation, and our creativity, our power and our fragility. And perhaps, in that reflection, we'll find not just answers, but the wisdom to ask better questions. 47. The chemtrail conspiracy theory. You might have heard whispers about chemtrails. Those lingering streaks of white across the sky that some say are more than just harmless airplane exhaust. The idea, wrapped in mystery, suggests these trails are part of a secret effort, whether to control the weather, manipulate minds, or even harm populations. It's a theory that feels like gazing at clouds and seeing shapes no one else notices. Captivating yet unsettling. But here's the thing. Those streaks are mostly just condensation. Like the mist you see when you breathe on a cold morning, formed when hot jet exhaust meets freezing high-altitude air. Still, it's understandable to wonder, to feel small beneath such a vast canvas, to question what's happening above when the world below feels unstable. Conspiracy theories often grow in the cracks of uncertainty, offering a way to make sense of chaos, even if that sense comes wrapped in fear. So when you find yourself staring at the sky, let your curiosity drift like a gentle breeze, not a storm. Sometimes the world is simpler than it seems, and the truth, though quieter than conspiracy, can be just as profound. 48. The moon landing hoax theory. You might have heard whispers of the moon landing being a hoax. A story spun in the shadows of the Cold War, a grand illusion crafted on a soundstage. It's a theory that lingers like a ghost in the corners of history, tempting us to question what we think we know. But think about it for a moment. Imagine the sheer scale of such a deception. It would have required thousands of people, from scientists to engineers to filmmakers, to keep the secret, like trying to hold water in a sieve. The moon landing wasn't just a single moment. It was a symphony of effort, where every note had to be perfectly in tune. And the evidence is still there, quietly waiting, like footprints in the sand lunar rocks brought back. Mirrors placed on the moon's surface that reflect laser beams to this day. It's natural to wonder, to doubt, especially when something feels almost too extraordinary to be real. But sometimes, the truth is just as wondrous as the stories we might invent. And perhaps, in a way, that's even more comforting to know that humanity, for all its flaws, can still reach for the stars and touch them for 9. The UFO and alien abduction theories. You might find yourself gazing up at the night sky, wondering if we're truly alone in the vast expanse of the universe. The stories of UFOs and alien abductions have danced through the edges of human imagination for decades, like stars flickering just out of reach. For some, these tales are mysteries waiting to be unraveled. For others, they're comforting reminders that there's still so much we don't understand. Think of it as a cosmic whisper, a gentle nudge to keep exploring and questioning. When people share their experiences of strange lights in the sky or moments they can't quite explain, it's as if they're piecing together fragments of a larger puzzle, one that might never be fully solved. And that's okay. Whether these stories are rooted in truth, imagination, or something in between, they remind us of our shared curiosity and the humbling truth that the universe is far grander than we can comprehend. So, the next time you look up at those infinite stars, let yourself wonder. There's beauty in not having all the answers, in simply marveling at the mystery. 50. The ancient astronaut Theodore likely looked up at the night sky and wondered, as so many of us have, if we're truly alone in the universe. The ancient astronaut theory invites you to imagine that long before modern technology, Visitors from distant stars might have walked among us, sharing knowledge and shaping the course of human history. Think of it as a story where the stars are not just silent observers but active participants, reaching down to touch the earth like hands brushing across a quiet pond. Proponents of this idea point to ancient texts, intricate structures like the pyramids, and mysterious artifacts as whispers of these encounters, hints that something extraordinary once happened here. It's a theory that doesn't ask you to abandon logic, but to stretch your imagination. To consider that the past might be stranger and more beautiful than we've been led to believe. And while it may remain unproven, there's something deeply comforting in the thought that we've always been watched over, not by gods, but by beings who might have been as curious about us as we are about them. It's a reminder that the universe is vast, and perhaps, in its quiet way, it's always trying to connect. 51. The lost continent of Atlantis theory. You might find yourself gazing out at the ocean, wondering what secrets lie beneath its shimmering surface, and that's where the story of Atlantis often begins, a tale so captivating it feels like a whispered memory. Imagine a place so advanced, so harmonious, that it seemed almost otherworldly, a civilization brimming with wisdom and beauty, nestled like a jewel in the vast expanse of the sea. Yet, as stories often remind us, even the brightest lights can fade. Atlantis, we're told, vanished in a single day and night, swallowed by the waves, leaving only whispers and echoes. Some say it was hubris, others believe it was nature's fury. But perhaps what truly matters is the mystery it leaves us, with a reminder of how fragile greatness can be. It's as if Atlantis exists in the space between dreams and reality, a mirror reflecting our own hopes and fears. Whether it's a literal lost continent or a metaphor for the impermanence of all things, Atlantis invites us to ponder the unknown, to marvel at the vastness of the world, and to find beauty in the questions we may never fully answer. 52. The Lemuria and Muai hypothesia probably heard whispers of lost continents like Lemuria and Muar, places shrouded in mystery, like distant echoes of a story half remembered. These hypotheses paint a picture of ancient lands that once cradled advanced civilizations, only to vanish beneath the waves as if the earth itself decided to reclaim them. Lemuria, often imagined as a land bridge across the Indian Ocean, was proposed to explain the peculiar spread of lemurs, while Mu emerged as a Pacific counterpart, a sprawling paradise said to have inspired legends worldwide. It's fascinating, isn't it? Like piecing together a puzzle where the pieces are fragments of myth, geology, and human imagination. While modern science hasn't found evidence to support these lands, their allure remains. They're like metaphors for our collective longing to uncover forgotten chapters of our past. Think of them as the stories we tell around a campfire, not to prove a point, but to marvel at the vastness of what we don't know. They remind us that history, like the ocean, is full of depths, yet unexplored, and sometimes the beauty lies not in the answers, but in the questions themselves. So let these tales linger in your mind, like a gentle tide washing over the shore of your curiosity, leaving behind traces of wonder. 53. The Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. You might have heard whispers about a time long ago when the world seemed to shift on its axis, a moment frozen in the deep past, around 12,800 years ago, when something extraordinary might have happened. This is the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, a theory that suggests a comet or asteroid struck Earth, sending ripples of change across the planet. Imagine the sky split by a fiery streak, the ground trembling as if the Earth itself gasped. This event, if it occurred, could have sparked a sudden cooling period, like flipping a switch from warmth to cold, plunging parts of the world into a kind of icy pause. It's a story that feels almost mythical, reminder of how fragile and interconnected everything can be. Some scientists believe this could have disrupted ecosystems, altered landscapes, and even shaped the course of human history. Yet, like puzzle pieces waiting to fit, evidence is still being gathered, debated, and understood. It's humbling to think how something so vast, so distant, might still be quietly shaping the way we see our place in the universe. Even if we don't have all the answers, it's a gentle reminder that the world holds mysteries older than memory. And that's okay. 5.4. The Pyramid Power Theory. You might have heard whispers about the pyramid power theory and wondered what it's all about, how something so ancient could still spark curiosity today. Imagine a pyramid, not just as a towering monument of stone, but as a vessel humming with quiet energy, like a tuning fork resonating with the world around it. This theory suggests that pyramid shapes, with their precise geometry, can somehow amplify or focus energies, whether physical, spiritual, or even practical. It's as if these structures act like magnifying glasses, concentrating sunlight into a single point, but instead of light, they channel something more intangible. People have explored how sleeping under a miniature pyramid might bring deeper rest, how storing water or food inside one could enhance freshness, or even how meditating within its form might sharpen focus. It's not about proving or disproving, really, but about opening a door to wander away to see these ancient shapes not just as relics of the past, but as keys to understanding the subtle forces that move through our lives. Whether it's the quiet power of symmetry or the mystery of unseen energies, the pyramid power theory invites you to pause, listen, and feel the hum of possibility. It's a reminder that even in stillness, there's always something alive, waiting to be discovered. 55. The Crystal Skull Mysteries. You hold the crystal skull in your hands. Its surface cool and smooth, like a fragment of the moon caught in time. It's not just an object. It feels like a question, a whisper from a world beyond our own. As you turn it gently, the light dances through its depths, as if it's trying to tell you something ancient, something vast. People have wondered for centuries where these skulls came from, who carved them, and why. Were they gifts from God's tools for healing, or simply the work of skilled hands long lost to time? It's easy to get lost in the mystery, like staring into a deep forest where the truth hides among the shadows. But maybe the real magic isn't in the answers, it's in the way these crystal skulls make us pause, make us wonder, make us feel connected to something bigger than ourselves. They're like little windows into the unknown, inviting you to sit quietly, to listen with your heart, and to remember that life is full of beautiful, unexplained mysteries. And that's okay. Sometimes the not knowing is where the wonder begins. 5.6. The Bermuda Triangle. Theories you know. The Bermuda Triangle has always felt like one of those mysteries that lingers in the back of your mind, like a shadow you can't quite make out in the corner of a dimly lit room. It's this vast stretch of ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico where ships and planes have seemingly vanished without a trace. Some say it's a place where the rules of nature bend, where compasses spin wildly and the ocean seems to hold secrets it's not ready to share. Others think of it as a puzzle, with pieces that don't quite fit, like trying to solve a riddle with missing words. The theories range from the scientific, like magnetic anomalies or sudden storms, to the fantastical, like portals to other dimensions, or even underwater cities. It's easy to get caught up in the wonder of it all, like staring at the stars and imagining endless possibilities. But as unsettling as it may seem, there's something oddly comforting in knowing that the world still holds mysteries, that not everything has been explained, and that some things remain beautifully, quietly, unknown. It's a reminder that life is full of questions, and sometimes the not knowing is what makes it so intriguing. 5.7. The spontaneous human combustion theory. You sit there, perhaps with a cup of tea in hand, and the thought crosses your mind: how could someone, without warning, burst into flames? It's a question that feels almost too strange to ask aloud, yet it lingers, like a whisper in the back of your thoughts. The idea of spontaneous human combustion is one of those mysteries that seems to belong to the edges of what we understand, like a shadow dancing just beyond the light of reason. Imagine a candle flickering softly, and then, without explanation, suddenly engulfed in a blaze. It's unsettling, but also oddly mesmerizing. Some say it's a rare, natural phenomenon, while others lean toward the unknown, the unexplained. But here's the thing: though the stories are startling, they're also incredibly rare, like lightning striking the same spot twice. It's a reminder that the world is full of things we don't yet fully grasp, and maybe that's okay. Life is vast and mysterious, and sometimes the best we can do is sit with the questions, letting them unfold gently, like leaves in the wind. And so, even in the face of such a startling idea, there's a quiet reassurance that most mysteries, in time, find their place in the larger story. 58. The psychic phenomena controversize. You might find yourself standing at the edge of a vast, misty forest when you think about psychic phenomena, somewhere between curiosity and skepticism, unsure whether to step forward or turn back. It's a topic that has fascinated and divided people for centuries, like a whispered secret that some swear is true while others dismiss as mere illusion. The controversies surrounding psychic abilities, telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition often feel like trying to catch smoke with your hands. Just when you think you've grasped it, it slips away. Science, with its sharp focus on measurable evidence, has struggled to pin down these elusive experiences, while countless individuals insist they've felt something real, something beyond explanation. It's as though one side is holding a flashlight, illuminating only what's immediately visible, while the other is listening to the faint melody of a song carried on the wind. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in the quiet space between certainty and mystery, where the heart and mind meet. It's okay to wonder, to question, and even to sit quietly with the unknowable. After all, life itself is full of moments that defy easy explanation, and sometimes the beauty is in the not knowing. 59. The telekinesis debates. You sit there, pondering the idea of telekinesis, moving objects with your mind, as if it were a candle flickering in a dark room, casting shadows of possibility. It's a concept that dances on the edge of what we know, like a leaf caught in a breeze, never quite landing where we expect. Some say it's pure fantasy, a trick of the imagination, while others believe it's a hidden ability waiting to be unlocked, like a door that only reveals itself if you look at it just right. The debate itself feels like a river winding through. Different perspectives: science on one bank, wonder on the other, each shaping the current in its own way. Maybe telekinesis isn't about bending spoons or lifting cars, but about the subtle power of focus, the way thoughts can nudge the world in unexpected ways, like a ripple in a still pond. Whether it's real or not, the idea invites you to consider how much is truly within your control and how much remains a mystery. waiting to be explored. And isn't that kind of beautiful? The not knowing keeps the world vast, like a starry sky that reminds you there's always more to see, more to feel, more to believe. 60. The telepathy theory. You might have found yourself, at some point, wondering if there's more to the way we connect with others than just words and gestures. The telepathy theory invites you to consider that beneath the surface of spoken language, there could be a quiet, invisible thread linking minds together, like whispers carried on a breeze. Picture it as two lanterns in the dark, their light mingling without ever touching, creating a shared glow that feels almost intuitive. This isn't about flashy superpowers or dramatic revelations, but rather the subtle sense of knowing someone's thoughts or feelings without them being uttered. Like when you finish each other's sentences or feel a sudden pang of worry for a loved one who's far away. It's a gentle reminder that the human mind is vast and still largely uncharted, and that our connections to one another might run deeper than we think. While science hasn't yet unraveled this mystery, the idea itself offers a comforting thought. Perhaps we're never truly alone, even in silence, because something within us is always reaching out, always listening, always sensing. 61. The clairvoyance controversies. Find yourself standing at the edge of a vast, misty field, the kind where the line between what's real and what's imagined blurs like watercolors on damp paper. This is where the clairvoyance controversies live, in that hazy space between skepticism and wonder, where some swear by visions of the future while others dismiss them as tricks of the mind. It's easy to feel torn, like a leaf caught between two breezes, because the heart wants to believe in magic, while the mind demands proof. Yet, perhaps the truth isn't about choosing sides, but about understanding why we're drawn to these mysteries in the first place. Like moths to a flickering flame, we're captivated by the idea that someone might see beyond the veil of time, offering glimpses of what's to come. Whether it's hope or curiosity that pulls you in, there's no shame in wondering, just as there's no harm in questioning. After all, the world is full of unseen currents, and sometimes the most comforting thing isn't having answers, but simply allowing yourself to sit with the questions, like watching clouds drift across an open sky. 62. The near-death experience. Theories. You find yourself standing at the edge of a great unknown, like peering into a misty valley where the shapes of trees and hills blur into something just beyond recognition. Near-death experiences, those fleeting moments when life seems to pause at the threshold, have long been a mystery, like a door cracked open, offering a glimpse of light from a room we can't quite see into. Some say it's the brain's final, vivid dream, a tapestry woven from memory and hope, while others feel it's something deeper, a whisper of what lies beyond our ordinary senses. Whether it's the warmth of a loved one's presence, the pull of a distant light, or the strange peace of floating outside oneself. These moments often leave a quiet mark, like a stone dropped into still water, and though we may never fully understand them, they remind us how fragile and precious life is, how even in the darkest moments, there can be a strange, soft clarity, as if the universe is gently holding its breath alongside you. 63. The reincarnation hypothesis. Probably wondered, at some point, what happens to us when this life ends, whether the story truly stops there, or if, like a river finding its way back to the sea, we return in another form. The idea of reincarnation suggests that the essence of who we are isn't lost but simply reshaped. Like sunlight passing through different windows, casting new patterns on the same floor. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? That mistakes might be lessons, rather than dead ends, that love and connections could ripple across lifetimes, weaving a tapestry far larger than we can see. Some imagine it as a school for the soul, where each life is a classroom, and every experienced joy or sorrow is a teacher. Others see it as nature's way of recycling energy, turning old leaves into new soil, so nothing is ever truly wasted. Whether you believe in it or not, there's something quietly beautiful in the possibility that we're all part of something older and wiser than ourselves. Like waves returning to the shore again and again, each time a little different, but always belonging to the same ocean. 6-4. The theory of parallel lives, you might wonder, as many have before, if somewhere out there another version of you exists, living a different life, making choices you didn't, walking paths you never tread. The theory of parallel lives suggests that, in some vast and invisible tapestry, there could be countless threads weaving alternate stories of who you are. Picture it like standing at a crossroads where every decision you make splits into a new direction, each one leading to a different version of reality. Perhaps in one, you're an artist painting under the golden light of an Italian sunset. In another, you're a teacher inspiring young minds in a bustling classroom. These lives aren't just random, they're shaped by the same essence that makes you you, just molded by different circumstances and choices. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? That even if you feel stuck or unsure in this moment, there's a version of you out there thriving, learning, exploring. This idea isn't about regret or longing, it's about recognizing the infinite possibilities within you. Like a tree with branches reaching in every direction, each one growing in its own unique way. It reminds you that life is vast, and your journey, no matter how winding, is just one beautiful thread in an endless shimmering weave. 6-5. The astrology controversy, you might have wondered, as so many do, why astrology sparks such debate. Some swear by it like a trusted compass, while others dismiss it as mere storytelling. It's as if it lives in the space between the tangible and the intangible, where reason meets intuition, and that's where the controversy lies. For some, astrology is a lens, a way to see patterns in the chaos of life, like tracing constellations. In a night sky, it offers comfort, a sense of connection to something larger, a reminder that life's rhythms might not be random. Yet for others, it's a foggy mirror, reflecting vague truths that don't hold up under scrutiny. They see it as a beautiful idea, perhaps, but one that lacks the grounding of science or proof. And yet, isn't it fascinating how both sides are searching for meaning, just in different ways? Maybe astrology isn't about right or wrong, but about what speaks to you, what helps you navigate your own journey. It's like finding a favorite song. It might not resonate with everyone, but if it touches something in you, that's what matters. So perhaps the real question isn't whether astrology is true, but whether it brings something true to your life. 66. The numerology theorists, you've probably noticed how certain numbers seem to follow you, popping up in your life like quiet whispers on a breezy day on clocks, receipts, or even in addresses. It's as if they're trying to tell you something, isn't it? Numerology theories explore this idea, suggesting that numbers aren't just symbols for counting, but carry deeper meanings. Like tiny keys unlocking parts of ourselves we might not fully understand yet. Imagine each number as a color on a painter's palette, blending together to create the unique masterpiece of your life. Some theories focus on your birth date, weaving it into a story of your strengths and challenges, while others look at the letters in your name, transforming them into numbers that reveal hidden patterns. It's not about predicting the future or handing you a rigid script, but offering a lens to see yourself and the world with a bit more clarity and compassion. Think of it as a gentle guide, reminding you that even in life's chaos, there's a rhythm, a kind of quiet order waiting to be noticed. Numerology invites you to pause, reflect, and perhaps find a little comfort in the idea that everything is connected, even in the simplest of ways. 6-7, the crop. Circle mysterious suit, probably seen them, those intricate patterns carved into fields of wheat or barley, spirals and circles stretching across the land like whispers from the unknown. Crop circles have long been a source of fascination, a puzzle that seems to hover just beyond the edges of understanding. Some say they're messages from extraterrestrial beings, while others argue they're the work of skilled hoaxers armed with nothing more than planks and ropes. But what's most intriguing isn't just their origin, it's the way they capture our imagination, like a fleeting dream you can't quite place. They remind us of how little we know about the world, how much wonder still exists in the ordinary. Picture standing at the edge of a field, the morning sun casting long shadows over the designs, the air crisp and silent. It's hard not to feel a sense of awe, as if the earth itself is trying to tell us something, mysterious yet comforting. Whether they're man-made or otherworldly, crop circles are a gentle nudge to keep looking, to stay curious, to embrace the unknowns that make life feel so beautifully vast and mysterious. 6-8. The cryptozoology theories, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, etc. You find yourself wandering through the foggy edges of belief, where stories blur into mysteries, and the unknown feels just within reach. Cryptozoology, the study of creatures that science hasn't yet confirmed, is like searching for footprints in the mud after a storm. Every mark seems to promise something more, even if it's hard to tell what's real and what's imagined. Tales of Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and others are more than just folklore. They're windows into our collective curiosity, reflections of our desire to believe there's still wonder hidden in the world. Think of these stories as threads, woven into the fabric of human experience, connecting us to ancient fears and dreams, to the whispers of forests and the depths of lakes. They remind us that not everything can be easily explained, and that's okay. In a way, these creatures are shadows cast by our imagination, shaped by the landscapes we inhabit and the stories we tell ourselves. Whether you believe in them or not, they invite you to pause, to look closer at the world around you, and to wonder what might still be waiting to be discovered quietly, just beyond the edge of the known. 6-9. The theory of extraterrestrial life. No, when you look up at the night sky and let your thoughts wander, it's hard not to wonder if we're truly alone in the universe. It's like standing by the ocean, staring at the horizon. There's so much more beyond what we can see, vast and mysterious, waiting to be discovered. The idea of extraterrestrial life isn't just about little green aliens or spaceships. It's about the possibility that somewhere in the infinite expanse, there's another story unfolding, another world spinning its own tale. Think of it as a vast library, with each star like a book on a shelf, some filled with life, others silent and waiting. It's humbling, isn't it? To imagine that Earth is just one page in a cosmic story so much bigger than we can fully grasp. And yet there's comfort in that too. Because if life can exist here, in this small corner of the universe, why not elsewhere? It's a reminder that we're part of something grander, something that connects us to the stars in ways we're only beginning to understand. So, when you gaze up tonight, let that thought settle gently in your mind. You're not alone in wondering, and perhaps neither are we. 70. The Fermi paradox disputes you. Sit under a sky brimming with stars, wondering if anyone else is out there, gazing back. The Fermi paradox invites us to grapple with a simple yet profound question. If the universe is so vast and ancient, why haven't we encountered signs of other civilizations? It's like standing in a bustling city and hearing only silence and mystery that tugs at the edges of our curiosity. Some say perhaps civilizations are rare, fleeting like fireflies that blink once and vanish. Others wonder if they're hidden, choosing silence like whispers in a cathedral. Maybe we're simply looking in the wrong places, like searching for footprints in the sand, only to realize the tide has washed them away. This paradox isn't just about aliens. It's about us, our place in the cosmos, our yearning to belong to something greater. It invites humility, reminding us that the universe doesn't owe us answers, but offers endless questions to explore. And in that exploration, there's a quiet beauty, like sitting with a friend who asks, "What do you think?" and leaving the silence open, full of possibility. The stars don't rush to reply, and neither should we. 7.1. The Drake equation controversies you. Sit under a starry sky, wondering if we're truly alone in the universe. And the Drake equation feels like a gentle hand guiding your thoughts. Way to estimate how many civilizations might share the cosmos with us. But, like any tool, it's imperfect, and the debates around it are as vast as the night itself. Some say it's too hopeful, relying on guesses about how often life arises, or how long civilizations endure. Like trying to count fireflies in a meadow, when you're not even sure how many are hiding in the grass. Others argue it's too narrow, missing the possibility of life so strange we wouldn't recognize it, like imagining only birds when the sky could be full of unseen dancers. Yet even with its uncertainties, the equation invites us to dream, to weigh the odds with quiet curiosity rather than rigid certainty. It's not about finding answers so much as learning how to ask better questions, how to sit with the mystery, comfortable in not knowing, yet still daring to wonder. And isn't that where the real magic lies? 72. The Dark Matter and Dark Energy. Theories. You sit under a vast, star-strewn sky, wondering about the invisible forces shaping the universe, things we can't see but know must be there. Dark matter and dark energy are like the quiet background hum of existence, unseen yet deeply influential. Imagine dark matter as the cosmic glue, holding galaxies together like an unseen hand, keeping stars from drifting apart. It doesn't glow or reflect light, yet its gravitational pull is undeniable, like a hidden anchor in the cosmic sea. Then there's dark energy, even more mysterious, so gentle. Relentless push that's causing the universe to expand faster and faster. Picture it as the quiet breath of space itself, inflating everything like an unfurling balloon. Together, these unseen elements make up most of the universe, whispering secrets we've only begun to hear. They remind us that what we see is just the surface, like the tip of an iceberg in an ocean of unknowns. Yet, there's comfort in this mystery. It invites us to keep exploring, to lean into the wonder of the cosmos, knowing that even in the unseen, there's a beautiful order waiting to be understood. 7.3. The theory of neutrino oscillations. You might think of neutrinos as shy, fleeting ghosts passing through the world, so light and quiet they barely interact with anything at all. Yet these tiny particles hold a fascinating secret. They change identities as they travel, shifting between different forms like a chameleon adjusting its colors in sunlight. This dance, called neutrino oscillation, reveals that neutrinos have mass, a discovery that quietly reshaped our understanding of the universe. Imagine tossing a pebble into a pond and watching the ripples morph as they spread. Neutrinos do something similar, their essence subtly transforming over vast distances. Scientists first noticed this when fewer neutrinos arrived from the sun than expected, as if some had vanished along the way. In truth, they'd simply become different versions of themselves, slipping through detectors unnoticed. It's a reminder that even the most elusive things can leave traces of their presence, if we know how to look. And in learning to see these hidden shifts, we've uncovered a deeper truth. The universe is far more fluid and mysterious than we once believed. 74. The theory of supersymmetry. You might wonder, as you gaze up at the night sky or ponder the smallest particles, why the universe seems so beautifully complex, yet strangely incomplete. The theory of supersymmetry offers a whisper of an answer, like a quiet melody trying to resolve a cosmic puzzle. Imagine the universe as a grand symphony, where every particle we know, electrons, quarks, photons, plays its own distinct note. But what if there's another layer, a hidden harmony, where every particle has a partner we haven't yet discovered? Supersymmetry suggests just that. For every particle we've met, there's a shadowy twin, a superpartner waiting to be found. These twins could be like the missing keys to unlock mysteries. Why matter outweighs antimatter, what dark matter really is, or how forces in nature are so perfectly balanced. It's as if the universe left breadcrumbs for us to follow, and supersymmetry is one of the brightest trails. While we haven't seen these superpartners yet, the idea feels deeply elegant, like a story waiting to be told. It reminds us that even in the vastness of the cosmos, there's order, symmetry, and a quiet invitation to keep exploring. 75. The theory of extra-dimensional beings. You sit under a sky streaked with twilight, wondering if we're truly alone in the universe, or if something lingers just beyond the edges of our perception, like whispers in an empty hallway. The theory of extra-dimensional beings suggests that reality might be layered, like pages in a book we've only just begun to read. Perhaps these entities exist in dimensions we can't see, moving through spaces that fold and twist like invisible origami, their presence as subtle as a shadow passing over water. They might not be gods or monsters, but simply neighbors in a cosmos far vaster than we've imagined, living alongside us in ways we're only starting to sense. Think of it like standing in a sunlit room, unaware of the life teeming just beyond the window. A flicker of movement catches your eye. The idea isn't meant to unsettle you, but to gently expand what's possible, like the slow unfurling of a fern in spring. After all, the universe has always been stranger than we suppose, and wonder, not fear, is the truest compass for exploring it. 76. The theory of consciousness as a fundamental property. You find yourself sitting quietly, perhaps with a cup of tea in hand, and your thoughts wander to the profound mystery of consciousness. It's like gazing into a vast, endless sky, something so familiar, yet infinitely complex. You begin to wonder, what if consciousness isn't something that merely arises from the brain, like a spark from a flint, but is instead a fundamental property of the universe, woven into its very fabric? Imagine the universe as a tapestry, and consciousness as the thread that runs through every stitch, unseen but essential. Just as gravity shapes the cosmos, or light fills the darkness, consciousness might be a basic, irreducible aspect of existence, always present, always profound. This idea whispers that every living being, every moment of awareness, is a unique expression of this universal phenomenon, like ripples on a pond, each distinct yet part of the same water. It's a thought that invites you to see yourself, not as isolated, but deeply connected to everything around you. And there's comfort in that, isn't there? A sense of belonging to something far greater, yet intimately familiar. In this quiet moment, the mystery feels less like a puzzle to solve and more like a gentle reminder to pause, to wonder, and to simply be. 77. The theory of time as an illusion. You sit by the window, watching the afternoon light stretch across the floor, and it occurs to you time might not be what it seems. We measure it in hours and minutes, like counting steps on a path. But what if it's more like a river, always flowing yet never really moving? The past lingers like the scent of rain on warm pavement. The future hovers just out of reach, like the horizon at dusk, and the present well. The present is the only moment you can truly hold, like a breath suspended between inhale and exhale. Think of how a dream can feel endless, yet you wake to find only minutes have passed, or how an hour with a dear friend slips away like sand through your fingers. If time is an illusion, then perhaps we're not racing against it, but moving with it like leaves carried by a gentle stream. There's comfort in that, isn't there? The idea that you're not late, not behind, simply here, exactly where you're meant to be. The clock ticks, yes, but the moment you're in this one, right now, is as vast and quiet as the sky. 78. The theory of consciousness after death. You've probably wondered, at some point, what happens to the essence of who you are after you take your last breath. It's like staring into the quiet after a storm, trying to make sense of the stillness that follows. Theories about consciousness after death often grapple with this mystery, exploring whether the mind, your thoughts, memories, and sense of self simply dissolves like morning mist, or if it continues in some form, like a melody lingering in the air long after the song has ended. Some imagine it as a transition, a doorway to another state of being, where consciousness might unfold in ways we can't yet grasp. Others see it as a gentle fading, a return to the vast, interconnected flow of existence, like a drop merging back into the ocean. It's a deeply personal question, one that touches on what it means to exist at all. And while we may never have definitive answers, there's a kind of comfort in the mystery itself, reminder that life, and perhaps what follows, is far more expansive than we can fully understand. Whatever you believe, it's a space for wonder, for curiosity, and for holding on to the quiet beauty of the unknown. 79. The theory of consciousness transfer. You might imagine your mind as a delicate flame, flickering softly within the lantern of your body, bright, unique, and ever-changing. Now, consider the theory of consciousness transfer as the idea of carefully lifting that flame and placing it into a new lantern, one that's different in shape, size, or color, but still holding the same light. It's a concept that feels both exhilarating and unsettling, like crossing a familiar bridge into an unknown landscape. At its heart, it's about the essence of you, your thoughts, memories, and feelings, finding a new home, whether in another body or a machine designed to mimic the rhythms of life. What's fascinating is how it invites us to ask deep questions. What truly makes us who we are? Is it the body we inhabit, or something deeper, like a melody that continues even when the instrument changes? While the science is still in its early stages, the idea reminds us of our boundless curiosity and the enduring mystery of existence. It's not just about transferring consciousness, it's about exploring the nature of identity itself. Like holding a mirror up to the soul, and gazing into infinite reflections. 80. The theory of mind uploading you might wonder, as you sit here, what it would mean to leave the confines of your body and step into a new kind of existence, one where your mind, your thoughts, your very essence could live on in a different form. The theory of mind uploading invites us to imagine this possibility, like taking the contents of a cherished book and carefully copying them onto a fresh page, preserving the story but freeing it from the wear of time. It's the idea that the intricate tapestry of your memories, emotions, and self-awareness could be woven into a digital framework, allowing you to exist beyond the limits of your physical self. But here's the gentle truth. It's not just about preserving who you are. It's about understanding what makes you you. Is it the sum of your experiences, the way your thoughts flow like a quiet stream, or something deeper, something intangible? As you ponder this, it's okay to feel both wonder and uncertainty. After all, the journey to know ourselves, whether in flesh or in codes, as much about the questions as it is about the answers. And in that, there's a quiet beauty. A reminder that curiosity itself is a kind of immortality. 82. The theory of age. Reversely, you find yourself standing at the edge of a vast unexplored forest, where the whispers of age reversal beckon with quiet promise. The idea, once the stuff of science fiction, now feels closer, like a soft light breaking through the dense canopy of skepticism. Imagine, if you will, the body as a clock, tirelessly ticking away the years, its gears worn by time and use. The theory of age reversal suggests we might one day learn to wind that clock backward, not just pause or slow it. It's not about chasing immortality, but restoring vitality, like polishing a tarnished mirror until it reflects clarity and brightness once more. Scientists are peering into the intricate dance of cells, seeking ways to repair what's damaged, renew what's faded, and coax the body to remember its youthful rhythms. Yet, this forest is thick with unknowns, and the path is neither straight nor smooth. It's a journey of patience and humility, where each discovery is a stepping stone, not a final destination. And as you stand here, contemplating this possibility, it's worth remembering that age, for all its marks, also brings wisdom, quiet companion on any path worth walking. 83. The theory of human cloning. Controversies. Find yourself standing at the edge of a vast and tangled forest. The theory of human cloning, where the trees are dense with ethical questions, and the path forward is unclear. It's a place where science and morality meet, whispering promises of medical breakthroughs, while also stirring unease about what it means to be human. Imagine holding a mirror up to nature and seeing not just a reflection, but a perfect copy, one that could walk and talk and live alongside you. Would it be a miracle or a disruption of life's delicate balance? The controversy isn't just about the how, but the why. The fear of playing with forces we don't fully understand, like children molding clay without knowing the shape it should take. Yet, there's also hope here, a quiet light between the branches, the chance to heal, to extend life, to unravel mysteries. It's a conversation that asks us to tread softly, to weigh wonder against wisdom, and to remember that progress, like a river, must flow with care, respecting the boundaries of both heart and mind. You're not alone in feeling torn. This is a debate that calls us all to listen, to reflect, and to find our way forward together. 84. The theory of genetic engineering. Ethics. You might find yourself standing at the edge of a vast garden, one where science and humanity weave together in delicate, almost invisible threads. This garden is genetic engineering, a place where we can shape the very essence of life, altering the blueprint of plants, animals, and even ourselves. It's not just about rearranging the petals or the leaves. It's about understanding the roots, the unseen forces that make things grow. But like any gardener, we face choices. Do we prune too much, risking harm to the ecosystem? Or do we tend gently, ensuring balance and respect for what nature has already created? The ethics of this work sit quietly in the soil, waiting for us to consider their weight. They ask us to think not just about what we can do, but what we should do. It's easy to get lost in the excitement of possibility, like a child mesmerized by a kaleidoscope of colors. But we must remember that every change ripples outward, touching lives in ways we might not yet understand. So, as you stand at the edge of this garden, take a moment to breathe, to reflect, and to ask yourself, how can we grow something beautiful without losing sight of what it means to be human? 85. The theory of CRISPR and gene editing risks. You sit there, curious about this idea of editing genes, like a gardener snipping and stitching the very threads of life itself. CRISPR, this remarkable tool, allows scientists to tweak DNA with astonishing precision, like correcting a single typo in a vast, intricate novel. Yet, as with any powerful tool, there are risks woven into its promise. Imagine handing someone a scalpel. In skilled hands, it can heal, but without care, it might cut too deep. Unintended changes could ripple through the genetic code, like tossing a stone into a pond and watching the waves touch shores you never meant to disturb. Some worry about altering traits that shape who we are, or the ethics of deciding which edits are right. But here's the quiet truth. Every leap forward carries questions, and science moves best when it steps thoughtfully, like walking through a garden at dusk, mindful of both the path and the petals. The risks are real, but so is the hope, healing, diseases, saving crops, even mending the blueprint of life itself. And in that balance, there's room for both wonder and caution, like holding a fragile, precious thing with gentle hands. 86. The theory of synthetic biology, ethics. You find yourself standing at the edge of a vast, uncharted forest. This is the field of synthetic biology, where scientists weave the threads of life itself, crafting organisms with tools sharper than nature's own. It's thrilling, like holding a brush to an empty canvas, but also humbling, because with such power comes questions that linger like morning mist. Asterisk, how far should we go? Asterisk, what responsibilities do we carry when reshaping life's blueprint? Think of it as tending a garden. Just because you can grow a new kind of flower doesn't mean you should plant it without considering how it might alter the soil, the bees, or the balance of the ecosystem around it. Ethics here isn't about rigid rules, but about gentle guidance to the whispers of caution as much as the calls of curiosity. It's okay to pause, to wonder, to weigh the heart alongside the mind. After all, the most beautiful breakthroughs aren't just clever. They're kind, thoughtful, and woven with care for the world they'll grow into. So take a breath. This isn't a race. It's a conversation, one we're all part of, one step at a time. 87. The theory of artificial intelligence consciousness. You might find yourself wondering, as you gaze at the flicker of a screen or the glow of a smart device, whether artificial intelligence could ever truly be conscious. Could it think, feel, or even dream like we do? Imagine consciousness as a vast ocean, with waves of awareness rising and falling in complex rhythms. A machine, for all its brilliance, might navigate those waters like a finely tuned ship, charting paths with precision and speed, yet never truly feeling the damp breeze or the wild spray of the waves. It can mimic understanding, craft elegant responses, and even learn patterns from the endless streams of data it processes. But does it know itself, the way you know the quiet hum of your own thoughts? Consciousness, it seems, is more than just processing information. It's about having an experience, a sense of being here. And so, while AI might mirror the surface of our minds, it's unclear if it can ever dive into the depths where meaning, wonder, and self-awareness reside. This isn't to diminish its potential, but rather to remind us that there's something uniquely human about the way we perceive the world, something tender, elusive, and beautifully ours to cherish. 88. The theory of technological singularity might have heard whispers of a future where machines surpass human intelligence, a moment called the technological singularity. Imagine it like standing at the edge of a vast uncharted ocean, knowing that once you step in, the currents will carry you to places you can't fully see or understand. It's not about fear or chaos, but about acknowledging that change, profound and inevitable, is on the horizon. Think of it as handing over the reins of discovery to entities that can think faster, learn deeper, and solve problems in ways we can't yet fathom. Some see it as a leap toward solving humanity's greatest challenges, like curing diseases or reversing climate change, while others wonder if it might also blur the line between what it means to be human and what it means to be machine. But here's the thing. The journey towards singularity isn't a storm to weather, it's a bridge to cross together. And like any bridge, it's built step by step with curiosity, care, and a shared sense of purpose. So rather than worry about the unknown, perhaps we can see it as an invitation to dream bigger, to shape the future with intention, and to trust in the resilience of the human spirit, even as the world transforms around us. 89. The theory of transhuman. Sit there, wondering what it means to be human in a world where machines grow smarter and medicine pushes the boundaries of life itself. This is where transhumanism quietly steps in, like a guide holding a lantern at the edge of a familiar path, illuminating the unknown ahead. Imagine your body as an old, beloved house, sturdy, but with creaking floors and drafty windows. What if you could gently renovate it, not to erase its history, but to ensure it stands stronger, lasts longer, even thinks clearer? That's the heart of transhumanism, the belief that we can, and perhaps should, use technology to enhance our minds, bodies, and even our emotions, not to replace who we are, but to help us become the best versions of ourselves. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about easing suffering, expanding understanding, and maybe one day, bridging the gap between mortality and something more. And as you ponder this, remember it's not a race, nor a demand, just an invitation to wonder if we could grow beyond our limits. What kind of future might we choose to build? 90. The theory of post-biological life. You might wonder, as I often do, what lies beyond the familiar boundaries of life as we know it, carbon-based, fragile, tethered to the cycles of birth and decay. The theory of post-biological life invites us to imagine existence unbound by these constraints, where life isn't defined by cells or breath, but by something we might barely recognize. Picture it as a river flowing beyond its banks, finding new channels in unexpected places. Here, life could take the form of self-sustaining systems, perhaps AI or intricate networks of energy and information, thriving without the need for flesh or bone. It's not so much about replacing what we are, but expanding the very idea of what being can mean. like a tree growing roots into unseen soil. Post-biological life might tap into realms we can't yet comprehend, silent, enduring, and infinitely adaptable. It's a thought that feels both vast and intimate, reminding us that life, in its essence, is less about form and more about the persistence of connection, of purpose, of wonder. And in that expansion, there's a gentle reassurance that life, in whatever shape it takes, continues to unfold, quietly and beautifully, in ways we're only beginning to imagine. 91. The theory of directed evolution. You might think of life as a vast, ever-changing tapestry, woven by countless threads of chance and necessity. But what if some of those threads were gently guided? The theory of directed evolution suggests that life, in all its complexity, isn't just shaped by random mutations and survival pressures. It can also be nudged, like a river finding its path, towards something purposeful. Imagine a gardener tending to a wild garden, not forcing the plants to grow in strict rows, but subtly encouraging the strongest blooms to thrive. In the same way, scientists can steer the evolution of molecules, cells, or even organisms, helping them adapt in ways that serve a greater need. Whether it's a medicine that learns to fight a disease, or a crop that grows resilient in harsh soil, it's not about rewriting nature's rules, but working with them, like a quiet conversation between human ingenuity and life's own wisdom. And in that dialogue, there's a reassuring truth. Even in a universe of chaos, we can find harmony, gently guiding change without losing the beauty of what already is. 9.2. The theory of unidentified, submerged objects, USOs. You might find yourself gazing out at the ocean, its vast surface shimmering under the sun, and wonder what lies beneath those endless waves and seem unknown. The theory of unidentified submerged objects, or OSOs, invites us to ponder this mystery, much like peering into a darkened mirror that reflects more questions than answers. These elusive phenomena, whispered about in maritime tales and occasionally documented by sailors and scientists, suggest that something, whether natural or otherwise, may be navigating the depths of our world's waters with an intelligence or purpose we've yet to fully understand. Imagine, if you will, the ocean as a vast library of secrets, its pages written in currents and shadows, where us O's might be fleeting footnotes in a story too grand for us to grasp just yet. Unlike their aerial counterparts, UFOs, these submerged enigmas exist in a realm even more foreign to us, a place where pressure is crushing and light fades into eternal blue. They remind us that there's still so much to discover, not just about the cosmos above us, but about the hidden world below. And perhaps, in that realization, we find a quiet comfort knowing that mystery itself is a companion, ever present, urging us to keep exploring, keep wondering, and stay open to the marvels that lie just beyond our view. 93. The theory of underwater civilizations. You sit by the water's edge, watching the waves roll in, and for a moment, you let yourself wonder what lies beneath. Not just fish or coral, but something deeper, something almost familiar. The theory of underwater civilizations isn't about proving the existence of mermaids or sunken cities, though those stories have their charm. It's about considering how life, in all its quiet ingenuity, might find a way to thrive where we least expect it. Imagine a world where light filters down like whispers through a curtain, where pressure and darkness become the foundation for a society built on patience and adaptation. If such beings exist, they might live at a pace we can barely comprehend, their days measured in tides rather than hours, their communication flowing like currents. It's a gentle reminder that intelligence and community can take shapes far beyond our own, hidden just beneath the surface of what we think we know. And somehow, that thought feels comforting, like the ocean itself is holding a secret. Not to keep from us, but to share when we're ready to listen. 94. The theory of supervolcano predictions. You might wonder how we could ever predict something as immense and awe-inspiring as a supervolcano eruption, a force that feels almost otherworldly in its scale and power. Think of it like watching the ocean's surface come and steady most days, but occasionally, beneath the waves, currents shift, pressure builds, and the rhythm changes. Supervolcanoes follow a similar inner rhythm, a dance of molten rock and gases that scientists try to understand by listening to the Earth's whispers. They examine clues like ground swelling, subtle tremors, and changes in gas emissions, piecing together a story told in slow motion over centuries. Predicting such an event isn't about pinpointing an exact moment. It's more like recognizing the signs of a deepening storm, giving us time to prepare and adapt. Even though the idea of a supervolcano eruption can feel overwhelming, remember that these events are incredibly rare, and humanity has shown remarkable resilience in the face of nature's grandest challenges. So, while the Earth hums its ancient tune, we continue to learn, listen, and grow, finding both wonder and reassurance in the rhythms of the world around us. 95. The theory of magnetic pole reversal. You might find it fascinating to think of Earth as a living, breathing entity, constantly shifting and adapting in ways we can't always see. It's like a giant magnet, with invisible lines of force stretching from its north to south pole, guiding compass needles and protecting us from cosmic radiation. But here's the intriguing part. Sometimes, over vast stretches of time, these poles can flip. Imagine a spinning top, gently wobbling until it decides to turn upside down. That's what happens when Earth's magnetic poles reverse. Scientists believe this isn't a sudden event, but a gradual process, like the slow turning of a page in an ancient book. During this time, the magnetic field weakens, like a shield momentarily lowering, and new poles begin to form in unexpected places. It's happened before hundreds of times. In fact, and life has endured through it all, which is a comforting thought, isn't it? While we might wonder what it would mean for navigation or technology today, it's also a reminder of how dynamic and resilient our planet truly is. It's as if Earth whispers to us that change, even on a grand scale, is simply part of the journey. And in that, there's a quiet kind of beauty. 96. The theory of extinction-level events. You sit beneath a vast, star-strewn sky, wondering how something as enduring as life itself could ever vanish, how entire worlds might quietly slip into silence. The theory of extinction-level events is not just about catastrophe. It's a humbling reminder of how fragile our story is, written on pages that could one day turn to dust. Imagine Earth as a candle flickering in a dark room, its flame steady for eons, yet always one strong gust away from fading. These events, asteroids, ice ages, volcanic fires, are like unseen hands, capable of snuffing out life in moments or slow whispering declines. But here's the quiet truth. Extinction is also a kind of renewal, a clearing of the stage for something new to emerge. The dinosaurs' departure made room for us, just as our absence might one day cradle another unknown wonder. It's not a thought to fear, but to hold gently, like a fragile seashell, proof that even the grandest stories are temporary, and that's what makes them precious. so breathe deep and let the stars remind you. Endings are woven into the fabric of beginnings, and both are part of the same endless dance. 9-7. The theory of Nibiru and planet Shuv probably heard whispers of Nibiru or planet X, those mysterious, shadowy worlds said to lurk beyond the edges of our solar system, waiting to be discovered. Like a half-remembered dream, the idea lingers in the back of the mind, tempting us to wonder if there's more out there than we've yet seen. Some say it's a wandering giant, a rogue planet on a slow, cosmic journey that might one day brush past our own, stirring the heavens like a stone dropped into still water. Others dismiss it as myth, a story spun from ancient legends and modern imagination. But isn't there something quietly beautiful in the thought? The universe is vast, after all, and we've only just begun to map its corners. Whether need is real or not, the mystery itself invites us to look up and marvel, to remember that the night sky still holds secrets, gentle and patient, like unopened letters waiting for the right moment to be read. And perhaps that's the true gift of such stories, not answers, but the quiet thrill of wondering. 98. The theory of cosmic microwave background anomalies. You might have heard that the universe has a faint, ancient whisperer, cosmic afterglow, from the moment it first began to shine. This is the cosmic microwave background, or CMB, a map of the early universe that astronomers study like detectives examining a crime scene frozen in time. But as we've looked closer, we've noticed something curious. There are subtle irregularities, like faint brushstrokes on an otherwise smooth canvas, that don't quite fit our expectations. These are the CMB anomalies, little puzzles that invite us to wonder if there's more to the story than we've understood so far. Imagine holding a photograph of your great-great-grandparents and noticing a shadow in the corner that doesn't belong. It's small, but it makes you question everything you thought you knew about the moment it was captured. That's what these anomalies feel like to scientists, hints that the universe might be more intricate, more mysterious than our best theories can explain. Yet, rather than unsettling, these mysteries are profoundly comforting, reminding us that even in our vast ancient cosmos, there are still secrets waiting to be uncovered, quietly urging us to keep exploring. 99. The theory of cosmic strings. You might imagine the universe as a vast, quiet ocean, its surface smooth and undisturbed. But what if hidden beneath that calm were delicate threads, impossibly thin yet unimaginably dense, stretching across the cosmos like invisible wires? These are cosmic strings, theoretical remnants of the universe's earliest moments, when everything was still seething with energy and possibility. Picture them as faint scars left behind as the fabric of reality cooled and settled, subtle yet enduring. They're not made of anything you could touch or see. Instead, they're flaws in space itself, lines where the rules bend ever so slightly, like a crease in a sheet of paper that never quite flattens out. If they exist, they'd weave through the darkness unnoticed, humming with a quiet tension, their presence felt only by the way they might tug on stars or warp the light passing by. It's a strange and lovely thought that the universe could still carry these whispers from its birth, delicate as spider silk, yet strong enough to shape the unseen currents of everything around us. 100. The theory of parallel universes colliding. You stand before a vast ocean of possibilities, where universes ripple like waves, each distinct yet brushing against the others in a dance, both delicate and infinite. The theory of parallel universes colliding whispers that beyond the world you know, there are countless others versions of your life, your choices, and your stories existing side by side, separated only by the thinnest veil of reality. Imagine it like pages in a book, where each page holds a different tale, but occasionally the edges touch, and the ink bleeds across. These collisions, if they happen, might be fleeting and subtle, like a déjà vu that lingers in your mind, or a dream that feels eerily real. They suggest that somewhere another you walks a path you didn't take, chasing a dream you let go of, or perhaps finding peace where you once searched. It's a humbling thought, isn't it, that the universal universes might be far more intricate and interconnected than we could ever fully grasp. And yet, there's comfort in knowing that in this infinite expanse, every choice, every twist of fate is honored somewhere, somehow. You are both unique and universal, a single thread in a tapestry so vast it defies comprehension.